Welcome back to Cider from Scratch, everyone. I'm David and Rachel's behind the camera. Today we have another cider video for you. In today's video, we are showing a basic cider mixture of just store-bought Great Value brand apple juice, nothing crazy. Mixing that with 6 grams of our Go Firm yeast nutrient, and today's batch is using 4 grams of Red Star Premier Classic yeast. So that's hydrating together here nicely, approximately 15 minutes or so. So while that's taking place, we'll start to take readings of our juice. In the past, we've been taking readings using our refractometer because it's really easy, simple, and you only need a few drops of liquid, whereas the hydrometer needs upwards of 200 milliliters of liquid. Unfortunately, as your mixture starts to create alcohol, it starts to skew that refractometer reading, and when you get to the end of your recipe, you really can't take that measurement using the refractometer. So in today's episode, we're going to take initial measurements with both the hydrometer and the refractometer, and then at the end, we'll also take the same measurements to show you the difference. All right, we're sitting at 1.048 for our juice mixture. And we have 3 96-ounce cartons of apple juice. I'm going to save a little bit of this juice so I can rinse out the funnel with the yeast mixture. And we'll go ahead and pitch that yeast in. Give it a good swirl, make sure it's all mixed in there. Clear out the funnel with our last bit of apple juice. All right, we're gonna let this sit for 6 to 12 hours. Let that yeast start working, and then we'll add our first dose of Fermented K. It's been about 20 hours since we last pitched our yeast, a little bit longer than we would have liked, but we've been busy this morning. So what we've had here is 3 grams of Fermented K mixed in with 30 milliliters of hot tap water. That's been hydrating for just over 10 minutes. So now we're gonna add that. Put our airlock back on. We're good to go. That'll take about 3 to 5 days to ferment down to 1/3 sugar depletion. At that point, we'll add another 3 grams of Fermented K. It's been 3 days since our last edition of Fermented K. So today, since fermentation has slowed slightly, we're gonna add another 3 grams of Fermented K that has been hydrated for 15 minutes in 30 milliliters of water. Super simple, super easy. We'll leave this sit for 3 or 4 more days until fermentation is stopped, and we'll check back in. Today is bottling day. We took our specific gravity readings yesterday on batch number 9, and we found that fermentation has completed. We're sitting at 1.000 specific gravity. That means we're ready to create a secondary fermentation in each of these 1 gallon carboys and split it. This currently sits at 6.3%. We're gonna add it to 1 gallon carboy with apple juice to create a sweeter apple flavor. We're gonna add it to a 1 gallon carboy with cinnamon, vanilla, and brown sugar that we've added to water. And then we're gonna add it to a 1 gallon carboy with 1 ounce of Citra hops, and some more apple juice. We are taking our first 24 ounces of this juice and bottling it so that we can taste it later to know what it tastes like before we added all the different ingredients. What I did is I added 5 grams of corn sugar to these bottles prior to adding the liquid. That way, after the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks are up, it'll have a little bit of carbonation. All right, we're all set. We're all done. What we did was we added apple juice to this one for secondary fermentation. We added brown sugar water, vanilla, and then we added hops and more apple juice to this one. We'll let these sit for another probably about 10 or 11 days, and then we'll rack them and put them in bottles. Today's bottling day for batch number 9. All right, we finished bottling our hard cider. We'll let that sit for 2 to 3 weeks to condition, get a little carbonation, and then we'll let you guys know how it tastes. It's been just over 3 weeks now, and batch 9 has conditioned just right so that we can taste them. We've learned over the last few batches that 2 weeks is not quite enough. So moving forward, we're gonna give it at least 3 weeks for every bottle conditioning that we try. So today what we have for you is what we came up with after primary fermentation with batch number 9, just the basic plain original hard cider. After primary fermentation, we began secondary fermentation where we added different ingredients. The first addition was just additional apple juice to try and sweeten the flavor. Then we added cinnamon sticks, vanilla extract, as well as brown sugar to give us an apple pie type of flavor. And then per Rachel's request, we added some hops to create a hoppy hopped hard cider. So today we're going to be opening those bottles, and one last thing we wanted to note on is that in the previous batches we were using 30 grams of corn sugar for bottling per gallon. Now we're only adding 25 grams per gallon to get that carbonation we're looking for. We've had a few that were a little too carbonated.
Like the priming sugar, right?
Yep.
Right before, yeah. They're too boaty.
So hopefully there's just the right amount of carbonation in these 4.
Okay, I'm excited.
Sounded good. That one is so clear.
That might be your clearest one. Oh, it didn't have as much.
Not very much, yeah. This is the one with apple juice. Definitely not as much, but there is still.
There's fizz, it just didn't
yeah,
pop.
there's still some. Just, you can definitely tell in the sound and the look, not nearly as much. Just very little again.
That's the apple pie flavor, right?
Correct.
Starker. Makes sense. We put sugar in it, right?
Brown.
Brown sugar?
It was dark. I didn't know which to use, lighter dark, so we used dark brown sugar. Whatever. Whoa, there's barely any fizz in that one. It was all the way to the top though.
The cap kind of looked like it was, The cap kind of looked like it was on crooked. So, could be my fault capping it.
Nope, there's fizz there.
You gotta smell it. It smells so strong. It always smells stronger than it is gonna taste, I think. At least the way we're doing it.
Also, we opened this one 2 weeks ago just to see how it was doing. It was a lot cloudier. That's pretty clear considering there was an ounce of Citra hops in there.
We didn't really like commercially filter it or like anything like that, you know?
We're gonna put the hops in a bag.
Like a mesh bag. With
Mesh bag looking forward. It was a bit of a mess.
We had stuff on the top and at the bottom.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mess.
That's okay.
But without further ado, let's take a look real quick at the color. These three, I guess, okay, so these two are very similar.
Yeah.
This one is a little bit darker, probably the brown sugar, dark brown sugar we use. This one is hazy from obviously the hops. So let's go ahead and give it a try. So this is fun for us because this is before we made any additions. That's not bad. It's very crisp, but it's a good crisp because I forgot to mention these are all at 6.2% ABV.
So we dropped down a ton from 8 to 9, which we knew. Batch 8 to batch 9.
Yep. So that one's actually very good. Very basic, very simple, very dry. Not quite plain. There's apple flavor to it, obviously.
I like this one.
Yeah. So this is the one where we added apple juice. Still at a 6% ABV. Still not enough carbonation.
It has no bubbles at all. Actually, none of these are bubbling like the first batch.
You can taste a little bit of effervescence.
Is that the priming sugar?
It definitely tastes a little bit sweeter. It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good.
It is. What's up with the carbonation? Priming sugar or what?
We used less priming sugar, yeah. So the thing is, using less priming sugar, it's just gonna take longer in the bottle. We'll get there.
There's nowhere close enough carbonation.
Yeah. We'll get there. It's just gonna take another few weeks.
Okay.
Whereas we've tasted some of our batches in the past, and after 3-4 weeks, it's too much carbonation.
Yes.
So we'll have to see. We have a couple more of these. We'll have to see what it tastes like in another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe for 25 milligrams per gallon of corn sugar, you need 5 weeks of bottle conditioning.
I like this one more than that one. That one tastes like it has more carbonation, so it's almost a tie. But if this had more carbonation, this one would be better.
Yeah. Our first one has more carbonation because that was before secondary fermentation.
Did anything? Yep. Okay.
This one tastes pretty good though. It's a sweeter. It's closer to a still,
Yes.
but it's pretty good. This one smells amazing. It smells like brown sugar, cinnamon, vanilla. I hope it smells as good as it tastes.
Opposite.
I hope it tastes as good as it smells. It doesn't taste watered down anymore. But it's not enough. There's not enough carbonation.
Yeah.
There's not enough flavor. It's not watered down, but it's not enough flavor. I can't necessarily taste it, but I can smell it. I taste a lot of brown sugar, and I taste a little bit of apple. Did you taste any apple? No?
I'm so focused on the cinnamon.
The lack of cinnamon?
I can't get past anything else in that one.
Alright.
It's not bad.
That's fine now. That's fine.
I
I think it needs more carbonation.
Maybe.
It's a lighter flavor. It's a hint of all those things. But you can tell after going from a few that don't have any of that, you can taste, you can smell those hints.
Okay, I'm really excited about this one.
Go ahead, you can taste it first.
Oh, but it's got it leaves you with like a very tart.
Holy smokes.
So I didn't think I would like hops because I don't like.
It smells just
IPAs.
like grapefruit.
Yeah, you gotta like grapefruit. You gotta like sour. It's pretty, like it gets, you know how it gets, like sometimes you have something too sweet and it gets you really far back here?
I think we added too much.
It definitely leaves you.
It's so strong. All right, let's see what it is.
David doesn't really like hoppy cider.
That's good. It has a almost perfect amount of carbonation.
There's something I really like with hops and cider. I don't know who figured that out, but like, it's really good.
It's not bad.
It's better than hoppy beer.
I think it's a little too much.
Yeah.
A little too much hop, but
That one's my favorite. I was excited about this one.
it's weird because it's, I don't know, it's not sweet per se, but it has a sweetness to it. I don't even know. We need to take some tasting classes.
I know. I don't know what I'm talking about with this cinnamon one. I just know something's wrong. That's okay. We have to be harsh critics of our own cider. We want to have really good cider, and we have different tastes, and so does everybody else.
This is only our 9th batch,
and we
started
ones.
from scratch, so you gotta figure out something along the way.
Yeah, this is better than the last batch, batch 9, and as long as we keep getting. Oh yeah, this is 9. Yep.
Yeah, the other batch 7 also. Batch 7 and 8, it's just too much alcohol content.
Yes.
It overpowers everything
we're
else.
trying to do.
Yeah. These ones, you can easily notice some of the characteristics or lack of characteristics, but these are right around 6%, and I think that's the gold spot.
Yep.
I want to make a 4.5%er that's like a light, summery cider, but everything else is probably going to be somewhere between 5.5% and 6.5%. Which is good.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode and for hearing us rant a little bit. If you can't tell, these are not like rehearsed at all. So we're giving you our full first impressions of everything. So thank you guys for tuning in.
And remember, always follow your dreams.